we are going to start in tabletop position, just moving through our cat-cow. So welcome, this is yoga. We're just going to feel into our breath, feel into your body as you round and arc through your spine, taking your time to really just feel into your spine body, feel into your back body, feel into your abdominal body, all through your torso, and everything that includes your muscles, your bones, your breath, even your internal organs, like your liver and your kidneys. Trying to elongate through the spine as you move through it, creating even more space. And try to really focus on your breath with the back body exhaling when you round, and then the belly body inhaling when you arc. So the inhalation goes into the belly, the exhalation goes into the spine. But keep moving your neck around and just your whole spine body as you feel guided. We're going to take about 5 more of these breath rounds, and then we're going to stay into a rounded spine. Good, and then the next time that you come into your rounded spine, stay here, tuck that tailbone chin into your chest and move through this. Try to make big movements through the shoulders, your hips, through your side body, and go at whatever pace is comfortable for you. Good. Take about 2 more this direction, and then we're just going to switch directions. And whenever you're ready, just move the opposite way. Keep rounding through your spine. Good. About 2 more. Then come to center. Find a flat table back. Pretend like your back is a table and extend your right arm and your left leg. Stay here a moment. Stretch out through the fingertips and your toes and breathe. Find your balance. If you're ever having a hard time balance, you can move your right knee out just a little bit more. And then find that straight back. Keep stretching out your limbs. And then circle your wrist and your ankle. Stay here, breathe. Keep stretching out, long arm, long leg. And reverse the direction of the wrist and ankle. And now we're going to go back into the long limbs, stretching out from fingertip to toe and circle from the shoulder and your hip. Keep circling. Another 5, 4, 3, 2, and reverse the direction of that hip and shoulder circle. Long limbs, circle 10. One, and now crunch it in, elbow and knee come in toward your spine, let it round, and extend out as high up as you can. Crunch it in, extend out. Now, if you want to, this toe on your right side, you can curl it, kind of helps stabilize your balance. Feel that stretch when you come in, and the lengthen when you come out. Feel free to flex your foot if that feels good for you when you come out. Exhaling in, inhaling out. Keep moving with your breath. 3 more, and then we're going to add a bind. And the next time that you have your limbs out, stay here, see if you can catch your foot behind you. Use a strap or a ring if you need to. Stretch it up, breathe. Balance. Two more deep breaths. And on your exhalation, we're going to release into an extended arm child's pose. Before we do our other side, widen your knees. Stretch your back, stretch your arms out. Try to place your forehead onto a mat, a block, or a towel, some kind of surface. Keep sending all of the weight back toward your seat bones into that low back. Breathe into it. 5 more deep breaths. On your exhalation, before we come and do our other side, curl your toes. We're going to take a quick down dog. I want you to just feel the difference between your right and your left side. Mostly because we already did one side with that balancing and stretching, but also just to feel into your body. Open up through the shoulders, straighten that back, tuck your chin into your chest. Just breathe through it. Take your time. Good, 5 more deep breaths. If at any time you needed to, you could move back into a child's pose or tabletop. And on your next exhalation, lower your knees back down. We're going to take a few cat-cows before we balance. Just making sure that spine is nice and long, nice and loose. Round and arc. Good. And when you're ready, find your flat tabletop back. And this time we're extending the left arm and the right leg. Imagine somebody is pulling you from both sides. Stay here just a few breaths to find your balance. Make sure you're nice and flat through that low back, stretching out nice and long. And when you're ready, circle through the wrist and the ankle. If you need to, curl that toe on your left side for balance. Good, and then reverse the direction of the ankle and wrist circle. Keeping those limbs nice and long, circle another 10. Now we're gonna stretch out as long as we can, just like when we started, and now circle from the hip and the shoulder. Long limbs. Try to get 10 circles each way. One, and reverse the direction of those circles. Stay strong. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're gonna crunch it in and lengthen out. Let that foot flex behind you if it feels good. Crunch it in. Lengthen out. 10 of them. Good, 2 more. Last one, and then lengthen those limbs out. Come and catch your foot with either your strap, your ring, or your hand. Come, bring it up and balance. Sorry, 5 breaths. Good, 1 more deep breath. And the exhalation releases your knee back to the earth. Curl your toes. We're gonna take it into our down dog. And this time, bend one knee and then rock your hips right to left. And then switch, bend your other knee, rock right to left. Kind of like you're doing a walking the dog, but I want you to give a little bit more sway through the hips than you might normally would when you're walking your dog. This is clearing out my throat too. Just breathe through it, let that energy move through you. If you get tired at any time, if your wrists hurt, you can always move back into a tabletop or extended arm child's pose. Keep shifting side to side, breathe through it. Hopefully this feels nice and good. Your hips should start feeling nice and loose. Breathe through any resistance, sway through it. Good, about 2 more each side. Keep breathing. And then start walking your hands back toward your feet. Keep your feet about hip distance apart, and then hold onto your legs, hug in as comfortably tight as possible. Breathe into it. Good, 2 more deep breaths. And on your exhalation, walk your hands back out. Release both knees down back onto the ground. Extend just one leg out. So it's gonna look like you're in a tabletop position. One leg is extending out. Flex your foot so that heel is on the ground and your toe is pointed up. And then just walk it over towards your long leg. And then back towards your knee. We're gonna move around in the hip and hamstring. When you do this, you should be feeling the stretch go from inner thigh all the way into hamstring. And this just kind of dynamically warming up. We're gonna hold the pose in just a few, but I want you to really just feel through this, feel through that range of motion. Good, about 2 more, and then we're gonna stay forward with our hands toward our bent knee in front of us. 1 more round. And the next time that you are facing forward toward this bent knee, start coming down, let your foot slowly lower to the ground, and think of a frog pose, but just on one side is extended out, the other side, the knee is bent, and start opening up through that inner thigh as much as you want to. Shift onto your forearms. We have 10 breaths here. Breathe into it. If you needed to, you could prop yourself up onto that block. Stretch out through that inner thigh. Breathe. Keep breathing. 5 more deep breaths. Get deeper if you want. And the exhalation slowly brings you up the same way that you went low. Start coming up. Now we are going to shift toward the long leg. Our toe's going to point up, heel is down. Think of a split type of position. If you wanted to, you could come all the way down into your split, using your block to help you, or just hug in toward that long leg in front. We have 10 more deep breaths here. Either split or just hug in toward that long leg. Five more breaths. Good. The exhalation slowly releases us back. We're going to bring both knees back under your hips. Knees squeeze together. Hands in line with your shoulders. So your knees are going to glue together and just sway side to side. Go one direction and the other direction. Engagement through the core. Loosening up hips, low back. Good, about 2 more each way. And then coming back into a tabletop type position, extending the opposite leg this time. Find your adjustment so you can be on your mat as needed. And we're going to just start walking ourselves one way and the other way, just like we did with that other side. With your leg nice and long, foot flexed, your heels on the ground, and your toes pointed upward. Good. Taking your time, just feeling through your body, all the way from inner thigh to hamstring. Good, 1 more each way. And the next time you come back toward the center, when you're in line with that knee bent in front of you, lower that foot down onto the ground. Start getting as low as comfortable and stretch your leg out into a one-legged frog. Remember, if you need to, you could prop up onto your block. If you're shifting a little bit more than you thought, come back onto your mat. We have 10 deep breaths here. Just surrender into it, breathe. Good, 5 more breaths. On your next exhalation, slowly come back up slightly, and then take that long leg, start shifting towards it. The heel's gonna point back up, or the toes point up, heel's gonna stay down. Coming into a split type of position. You can go as high or as low as you want. Use that block to help you if you need to. Take your time getting here. And a lot of times we're more tight on one side than the other side. Good. 10 more deep breaths. Five more breaths. One more deep breath in. And the exhalation slowly releases our hands down to the mat, finding your knees coming back together, all the way glued together. And we're going to take a few of those swaying side to side. Move through this. Good, loosen up those hips. And coming back to center, curl your toes behind you, press it back into your downward facing dog. And just breathe through this. 10 deep breaths. If at any time you need to, move into your child or your tabletop. Pressing that weight back. Shin tucked into your chest. Good, 2 more deep breaths. And then step your right foot forward. Your left foot is going to go out to an angle. Square your hips up. Bring those arms up into your warrior one position. Right foot forward, left foot back. Reach all the way back behind you. Exhale, bring those hands under your shoulders. Point both toes forward. Step back into plank line. Hold your plank line. Deep breath in. Exhale, bend the elbows lower down. Flex or point your toes, place your hands low onto your rib cage, come up into a cobra or up dog. Exhale, curl the toes behind you. Move back into that down dog. You could walk your dog or hold it. 5 breaths. On your exhalation, step your left foot forward. Take that right foot out to an angle. Come up into your warrior one. Breathe here, reach all the way back. Exhale, swan dive down, hands under your shoulders, point your toes forward, step back into your plank line, gaze forward, deep breath. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, press it up into cobra up dog. Exhale, curl your toes. 5 deep breaths in this down dog. And step that right foot forward again. Now I want you to stay in this long lunge. See if you can scooch that left leg back a little bit more. Take your hands onto your knees in front of you. Slowly dip that back knee down and up. Down and up. Placing your hands onto that front right leg to help you down and up. Another 5, 4, 3, 2, one more. 1, now dip that back knee all the way down. Let this back knee lower all the way down onto the earth. If you have a block, bring that block near you. Stay here, lowering that back knee down. Place your hands back onto your front knee in front of you. Stretch out. Really open up through this hip flexor. We're going to prepare for a pigeon. Think about how your hips are right now, how your hips are just in line with each other. We want to try to keep this hip shape. And then we're going to heel toe your right foot over to your left side. Bring that right knee down. Stay up into this high pigeon for just a moment. If you need to, put a block under your hip on your right side. Stay here, breathe. And at your own comfort level, lower down. Surrender into this, just breathe. 10 deep breaths. See if you can tiptoe those hands out a little bit more. 5 more deep breaths. And on your exhalation, take your hands back under your shoulders, come back into this high pigeon. Stay here, press. Just want you to breathe in this high pigeon. Pressing your hands into the earth, opening up through the heart. Let those hip bones sink into the earth. Now stay in your high pigeon, walk it over to the bent knee side, to the right side. Stay in that high pigeon, look up to the right, press into the ground, breathe. On your next exhalation, walk it all the way over to the left side. Press into the ground, look up, breathe. And on your next exhalation, come back to center. This toe behind you, the left toe, lift up and curl that toe so you can press back into a downward facing dog, walk your dog. Walk it out. Feel the difference between the right and the left leg. Breathe. Good, and when you're ready, step your left foot all the way up. Scoot your right foot back as far back as you can, with still maintaining a nice balance. Stack your hands onto your left knee, and we're just dipping little dips down and up, pressing onto this leg, this front leg. Dip down and up. Good, another 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we're gonna lower this back knee all the way down. You can place your hands onto the ground to help you point that toe. We're getting nice and low and place those hands back onto the top, that front knee. Stretch it back. Think about how your hips are right now. This is the alignment. We want to keep those hips. We're going to take 5 more deep breaths here, and we're going to move into that pigeon. So this is our opportunity to really stretch out those hips, prepping for our pigeon. Good, 3 more deep breaths. And now we're going to slowly lower our arms down, heel toe, that left foot over to the right side. Use a block if you need to under your hip. On that left side, slowly lower your hips down. You could move this right foot over, or your right leg really, over to the left side. Take your time. Find the high pigeon first, feeling the stretch. And whenever you're ready, you could lower down if that's comfortable for you. We have 10 deep breaths here, and then we're going to come back into our high pigeon. Maybe stretch out even more. 5 more deep breaths. And on your next exhalation, walk your hands under your shoulders, come back into a high pigeon. We have 5 breaths here, then we're going to walk to the left and then to the right. All right, if you feel real good, you could stay here or walk over to the bent knee, left side, whatever side your bent knee is. Mine's on the left. Stay there, twist, look up to the side corner, breathe. Good, 1 more breath here. And on the exhalation, walk it over to the right side or the other side. and breathe. Two more deep breaths. And the exhalation brings us back to center. Curl that toe behind you, that right toe, or whatever one is behind you. And then press it into your down dog. Last down dog of the day. Walk it out or just stay and stretch, breathe. Whew. All right, we have a few more shoulder stretches, and then we're going to come into our Savasana. Keep walking this out. 3 more deep breaths here. And now both feet flat onto the ground. Take your right hand, hold onto your left ankle, and look up to the left side. Try to plug your left heel onto the ground. Both heels really onto the ground. So opposite hand to ankle, breathe, 5 breaths. And the exhalation brings you back into down dog, switch sides. Left hand, right ankle, look up to the right, breathe, 5 breaths. And the exhalation brings us back to center. Lower your knees down to the earth. Point your toes, and we're going to sit onto our heels. If that's not comfortable for you to sit onto your heels, then grab a pillow or a block or something so that you can sit comfortably. If you have really tight quads, you could just take your legs to the side or out in front of you. We're going to focus on the shoulders a little bit more. For me, I like the quad stretch to just sit here, so don't do it if it doesn't feel good. Okay, so we are going to take our hands behind us. Take one of your wrists, pull it to the opposite side, and look your head to the opposite side. So your head's going to point the same direction that your arm is going. Stay here, breathe. And then we're just going to do little nods up and down with our head, stretching out through the neck, through the shoulder. If you need to, take a few little elbow bends and lengthens, or just stay stretching it out, elongating the neck and the arm and the shoulder. Take your time. Lots of little muscles in the neck. Be careful with them. Breathe through them. Good. And now we're just going to switch sides. Bring your head back to neutral position. Take your opposite wrist. It doesn't matter, we're doing both sides. And then just lean your head toward the other side, the opposite side of the wrist that you have. You could do a few of those little elbow bend and lengthens. And then when you're ready, little nods up and down. Staying over to that one side. Stretching it out all the way from the neck, through the shoulder, into the arm. Remember to breathe. 3 more deep breaths. Good. And now we're taking both of our hands. So interlace your fingers, interlace those fingers behind you. Take a few little bend and lengthens through the arm. This dynamically warms up through the shoulders. And then in just a few more moments, we're going to come into a child's pose. And I want to keep dynamically warming up through these shoulders. All right, and the next time you feel like you can keep your arms straight, we're just going to lean down into a child's pose. With our forehead onto the mat, arms extended up. Breathe here, 5 deep breaths. And on your exhalation, keep your forehead on the mat and just release your arms to your side. Let your shoulders open up. Breathe here. In a nice small child's pose. Forehead onto the mat. And on the exhalation, place your hands under your shoulders. Bring yourself into tabletop position. Cross your legs behind you. And then shift your weight back. Bring your legs out forward right in front of you. Move the flesh out of the way so you're on your seat bones. Inhale, reach your arms up. Deep breath in. And exhale, fold into it. Go as far as you can. 5 deep breaths here, and then we're going to slowly move into our Savasana. When I'm folded here, I like to do a few more little wiggles to get even deeper into it. So if that's comfortable for you, we have 3 more deep breaths. And now release your feet, but stretch your arms out as far as you can. We're going to stay as low as we can and slowly start tucking in your tailbone. Stay nice and low. Make your vertebrae move with that tailbone tucked in, staying low like you're trying to go under a limbo pole. And then we're going to slowly come back onto our mat. Stay here just when your low back starts to touch onto the mat. Stay here. See if you can float your feet. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release into Savasana. Take a big deep breath in. Exhale, sigh it out. And just release your energy into the earth. Feel your body sinking into the gravity of the earth, neutralizing with that calming, grounding earth energy. Feeling safe, protected. Just breathe into it. Feel your breath, your heartbeat. Relax. Begin making small movements, wiggling fingers, toes, bringing your awareness back to the space around you. Just make any movements that feel good. Bring your knees into your chest, give yourself a hug. Gently rock side to side. And find your happy baby position with your peace sign fingers around your big toes. You could keep the knees bent or straight, and you could even just wrap your fingers around the big mound part of your feet. And when you're ready, rock yourself up and find a seated position. Any little less movements. We're gonna take our arms out to the side with our palms facing up. We're just gonna stay here 5 deep breaths. Breathing into this, those palms up, arms nice and long, shoulders open. Your chin parallel to the ground. Your energy grounded into the earth and lifted into the universe. And smile to yourself. Lifting up the corners of your mouth. And on your next inhalation, inhale your arms all the way up, palms touch at the top. Exhale, bring it into your heart center, thumbs to your heart. Namaste. The light in me honors the light in you. Thank you guys so much for joining.